Welcome back to the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. Guy Newcomb, the scoreboard guy, alongside here, and presented to you by KICK 92.3 FM Springfield, Missouri, home of the Kansas City Royals. Central Bank of the Ozarks, Shelter Insurance Agent Grant Baker in Aurora. Bank of Billings, Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks, Great Southern Bank, and Doe Propane all bring you this show today. We'll go down to Southwest Missouri to a very successful head football coach of McDonald County Mustangs, Coach Kellen Hoover. And Coach, a tremendous season this year, 9-1. You've set the record for the most wins there. Talk a little bit about this season and how that culture got changed there.
Yeah, it's been a special year. It's a special group of kids. Our seniors have kind of weathered some tough years, and it's been building for a while. You know, we've wanted to definitely take steps towards this every single year, and it hasn't been without obstacles. Obviously, we were 5-5 my first year, and then the next 2 years we won 3 and won 2, and so those were tough times. But these guys toughed it out. They learned a lot, and our seniors those years they took steps towards this. So really, everybody who's been in the program, even before I was here, has kind of built us towards this. So they've all got to say in where we've been and how far we've come. And I appreciate those guys, but it is a special group. They're enjoying it, especially our seniors. You know, this is their last hurrah, and so they're trying to make the most of it and leave a legacy.
As you look back over this season, you guys are 9-1. You started off 2-0, then ran into Lamar. But since then, you've been unbeaten. Was there a point during the season where maybe you felt like you kind of turned the corner there a little bit, where they got used to winning and felt like, hey, we can win? You know, a lot of times when you've struggled as a program, you know, kids just almost expect to lose. Now they expect to win, I think.
Right. And, you know, that's another thing that's kind of been building as we've gone through the last couple of years, because a lot of our seniors started as sophomores, and that was a 2-win year, you know, and a lot of people say, you know, count the number of sophomores you have to start in the Big 8, and that's how many losses you're going to have. And that held true for us. And so, you know, then last year we had some tough games, battled COVID kind of like everybody else, as far as quarantines and games lost and games rescheduled and things like that. And so, you know, had to battle some adversity there, just like everybody else did. But I think our kids, you know, got tougher through that, as far as just having to kind of fight through some adversity, also playing in some big games. Had a chance to play for a share of the Big 8 conference championship 2 different times, and didn't come out on the right end either time. But we were playing in those big games, and our kids learned a lot from that experience. And then, you know, this year, obviously Lamar didn't go how we wanted it to. That's a really good football team. And but then, you know, I think we learned from that. I think we were able to come back stronger from that. And we just kind of plodded along all through the season, you know, and our kids have done a really good job just trying to be 1-0 at the end of the week. We haven't really looked ahead. We haven't really even looked behind us. You know, obviously we want to learn, and we watch the film on Mondays, and then we kind of turn the page, and it's like, learn from what happened. But at the same time, we're really not going to talk about what we've done. We're just going to try to go 1-0, and our kids have bought into that. They've done a really good job having really good weeks of practice and just focusing on the task at hand.
Again, visiting with McDonald County Mustangs head football coach Kellen Hoover. And Coach, as you look here in week 10 going into week 11, what are some things you really feel like you're doing well right now? And what are some things maybe that you feel like you need to kind of touch up a little bit as you go into the semifinals of districts?
Yeah, I feel like we're playing pretty physical football right now. And you know, especially in our conference, and really football down in Southwest Missouri and you know, just kind of all over the state of Missouri, the most physical team usually wins on Friday. You know, obviously some other things go into it, but the most physical team usually going to walk off the field with a win. And I feel like that's something we've kind of hung our hat on the last few weeks. We've kind of turned a corner there. We've had to kind of mix some guys in as far as our offensive line goes, just with some injuries and things like that. And I feel like they've kind of gelled a lot, especially over the last 2 or 3 weeks, and they're playing really well up front right now. And then, you know, with that, there's a lot of little things we need to clean up, whether it's the breaks of our routes, whether it's just our rules and steps up front, and then just cleaning up our eye discipline defensively. There's just a lot of little things that we need to focus on right now, but it's nice to be focusing on little things right now. But at the same time, if you don't do them, they can turn into big things on the scoreboard in a hurry.
You bet. What's the atmosphere down there? You go back to back weeks. You shut out Cassville 20-0. Now you shut out Monette 35-0. It's got to be an exciting atmosphere there at McDonald County.
It is. Our defense is playing really well right now. You throw up a couple goose eggs in a row, you get pretty excited about that. And they're playing really well right now. They're playing with a lot of confidence right now. And we just understand how hard that really is. And so when we're able to walk off the field with that, we're pretty excited about it, and we want to continue that. We obviously want to walk into this next week, and that's always the goal. And so we're going to try to put together a really good plan, and we're going to try to execute that the best we can. But it's exciting. It's an exciting time. The kids are excited. The school community, everybody's pretty excited about what's going on right now, and we get a ton of support from them. And our kids definitely appreciate it and feel it. And it's a really fun time to be at McDonald County right now.
Hey, you bet. One of my longtime friends, Scott Purrier, is an alumni there at McDonald County, and he'll send me a text every now and then. And of course, he and Ned Reynolds, they do the shows together on another station. But he's been pumped up all year long. And Coach, tell us a little bit about your background. How long have you been at McDonald County? You kind of alluded to it a little bit there. And where'd you go to high school, and how'd you arrive at McDonald County?
So this is my 5th year here, and it's been awesome from the beginning. It's been great. I spent 5 great years at Monette under Coach DePay, and then Coach Ewell, and then a lot of great coaches coached with while I was there. Really enjoyed my time there. But then it was kind of funny. I was actually talking to another coach. McDonald County was open at the time, and I obviously knew of McDonald County and knew that every single year they had some size and some talent really all the time. And it was always a game you walked into while I was at Monette that you're just like, man, they're going to fight. It's going to be a battle, and tough kids over there. And so I was just kind of telling that to another coach, and I was like, hey, it's open, and you could work in Northwest Arkansas. You could live in Northwest Arkansas. And my wife was actually in the other room, and she was like, she kind of poked her head in and was like, wait a minute, what? It's that close? And because, she's originally not from the area. And I was like, well, yeah. And so applied, and, was fortunate enough to get the job. And it's been great since. Really great assistant coaches here, which make my job so much easier. Great kids that buy in to anything you're preaching. And they've done so well. They've done such a great job, and can't give them enough credit. And then the support here's, like I said, been so great. And then before all that, went to high school at El Dorado Springs, and then went to college at Missouri Southern and played baseball. And then got that job out of college working at Monette for Coach DePay. And so it's been awesome. I've been under a lot of really great people, worked with a lot of really great people, and learned a lot from them. And I can't give enough credit to those guys, and enough credit to my coaching staff here and our kids here, because they've been so great.
As you head into the semifinal week of the districts, you've got maybe the upset of the week. Last week, you've got a Hillcrest team that surprised Carl Junction. What do you know about the Hornets? And you've had some time to watch them on film, and what are they doing well right now to get that big win, 24-14 over a good CJ team?
They're flying around, especially defensively. They've got some pieces that can really hurt you offensively. They've got some speed. They've got a tall receiver out there that they don't mind going down the field to. They've got a couple slot receivers that when they get it, it's tough to tackle them. And so, and with that, they've also got some size up front that can cause some problems in the run game. So it's a team that's got size, speed, athleticism. It's a team that's definitely dangerous and playing with a lot of confidence. You can see it over the last few weeks. Their scores have started to shift a little bit, maybe from early in the year. They're definitely playing their best football right now. They're playing with the most confidence they've probably played with all year. And then on Friday, that, like I said, they were flying around. They turned Carl Junction over several times, had a lot of takeaways, and that comes from playing as hard as they do. They play really hard on both sides of the ball, but on the defensive side, that definitely leads to a lot of turnovers. They've got a lot of people around the ball. That leads to fumbles. That leads to deflections, which can lead to interceptions, and that's what we saw from the Carl Junction film. And so that's definitely something that we've got a game plan for. We've got to keep our eye on, and we've got to definitely take that into account as we game plan and execute that game plan on Friday.
All right, you going into this? Are you guys relatively healthy? I know it's week 11, so there's going to be bumps and bruises.
We've had a couple guys that got injured early in the year, and doesn't look like we're going to get a couple of those guys back. But all things considered, we're pretty healthy, especially with where we've been over the last couple of weeks. It's not like we've got anything necessarily new, so it's things that we've been able to practice with new guys in those spots. And so all things considered, being week 11, we're fairly healthy.
Outstanding. Well, Coach, I really appreciate. I know you're in the classroom, and I appreciate your few minutes here. But best of luck on Friday, and maybe we'll get an opportunity to visit again next week.
Thank you. Yeah, that would be great, and thank you for having me on here. This has been great, and really appreciate you guys.
Hey, you bet. McDonald County Mustang head football coach Kellen Hoover, and we will step away and be back after these messages.